Hey YouTube, coming at you with a what was a tryhard team. The thought process behind the teams is double flyer, double water. So in terms of this is basically just looking at the main meta, right? You have Lickitung, Umbreon, Medicham, Gligar, a Sandslash, um, Superior, maybe one or two others in there, right? So my thought process behind the team was like Pelipper seems to be just well-rounded overall. There's not a ton of rock and not a ton of electric right now. You resist the fighter, uh, and then the weather ball is super effective against Gligar, and then you just do well against flyers, like pretty much anything, right? So it's Pelipper. If you looked at the analysis I did a week and a half ago about how do you deal with this meta, Pelipper actually has quite a strong record against the meta. Gligar, I think, is extremely strong. It generally feels super safe, just because you have fast charging wing attack with air lace and then dig, and then Swampert. I just love using Swampert. I cannot, even though on paper Swampert is no good anymore. I mean, it's still good. It's still like top 10 ranked, but in practice, like Lickitung just with the wet power whip, uh, Gligar, unless it's Shadow and Shadow, you actually lose that matchup. Um, like Medicham just outbulks you normally. So, and then Grass is just going to destroy you. But it's still like, if you get it in a neutral situation, it's still super strong. So that was the thought process behind the team. Let's look at some battles. I do actually replace, even though Pelipper is really strong, I do replace it with Sableye in the ending for a couple matchups here. So you're going to see Sableye switch in here. Just because I think Water Gun Lantern became a problem or something like that. I think something like that. In this matchup, you both get to Ice Punch at 5. But then you now get to a Weather Ball at 4. So you can actually take this matchup here. They realized that and try and catch. I realized that they were going to try and catch. So I hold it and get the Earthquake off. Azumarill, that was another one. That's kind of a problem. Not a huge problem. So I'm going to bank this move. I got one shield. I can easily shield back. I don't need to shield the first one, but I may shield back. I do. It is a Hydro Pump, so that's actually a really good shield. Earthquake won't take out from this range, but it'll do a pretty good amount of chip that I can probably just go Hydro after this. Yeah, you should still be able to go Hydro. I mean, sorry. Yeah, Hydro Cannon. Wow, they throw a Hydro Pump at me for the second time, so that's a good shield. So now I know I can get a ton of farm. So I go to 100 energy. Now, after all those mud shots, this will 100% take out. And I'll have a move coming out for a Sandslash, which will do a ton of damage here, and they have to shield or else I'm going to take them out here. And they let it go, so I take it out. Here comes the Gligar. Here comes the super effective Hydro Cannon, so they're probably going to shield. So I think what I'm going to do is, knowing that this is just knowing your opponent. This is just knowing your opponent. And my opponent, aka people who are actually good at counting at this game. How do you catch a move? You either catch on what they tried to do, trying to catch right on when I get to the move. Here, a good opponent is going to, so I have to show the first one. A good opponent is going to get as much energy as they can and then throw before you get to the next move. So they essentially are going to wait till I get to 1 before Hydro here and then throw, so I just don't get to the Hydro, right? Knowing that, catch a Night Slash, interesting. Catch a Night Slash. But because I get to move here, basically I'm already in range for both of them. I have a Weather Ball banked. I have almost a Hydro Cannon banked. So I will be able to get one of these two off for the win here. Night Slash, you don't see a ton of those. They're going to have to throw here. And now I can come in Pelipper and throw the Weather Ball right away, or I can just come in Swampert, one more Mud Shot, and then the Hydro to win. So that is game number 1. Dragonite. Dragonite's tough. I probably am just going to go straight Weather Ball. I'm just worried that they're going to get to a Dragon Claw and like CMP me and I don't get a move up. I'd rather just do that chip damage, knowing I can then come in and just wing attack down. So that is why I threw what is an obviously resisted Weather Ball. They still get to another Dragon Claw, right? So I didn't really want them to get that Dragon Claw and I get no chip damage, as opposed to now I can just farm down, right? So Still not an ideal situation. So out comes a Talonflame. And I was like, okay, they're not going to get to... they're going to get to a Flame Charge here. So I'm either going to have to try and catch. But the thing is, like, Incinerate 5 turn moves, right? I'm going to get 2 shields back right here if they want to get to another one, right? So here, this will take them out, or I'm going to grab another shield. And then this will take them out, or I'm going to grab another shield. And because they're low with energy, they may try to stay in there. So they actually let that go, which is interesting. And out comes a Lantern. It is a Spark Lantern. And they give up the game, which I think is probably right because with Spark, you probably... I don't know if that... Actually, I think... Well, I had a Wing Attack. I had a Aerial Ace. Plus, if I got 2... I think I can get two Earthquakes before they take me out with 2 Surfs. I don't know if that's true. Defense Deoxys, I just go straight Hurricane. There's no... Again, most people don't want to shield their Defense Deoxys, so you might as well just chip as much you can. Lickitung, I'm probably going to do the same thing, quite honestly. Oh no, this time I'm baiting. This time I'm baiting because they know I just went nuke on their Defense Deoxys. They probably think I'm going to go nuke on their Lickitung. I just don't have an amazing Lickitung answer on this team. So I grab 1 shield there. I'm just going to chip. I'm chipping because I know if I chip, I can put this in Hydro Cannon range for sure. And I'll probably be able to put it in Wing Attack, Dig range. Or even... No, I have to go Dig. I don't even know if Dig's going to take out. Lickitung is just so tanky. So they do shield, which is good. I think I'm probably just going to throw right when I get to Aerial Ace here. Yeah, I was trying to. The question is, does one Body Slam take me out from this range? Yeah, Gligar, even this, Gligar's sneaky tanky, right? It's sneaky tanky. Those are a bunch of licks and 2 Body Slams coming in there that do not take me out. Here, I'm going to get this off here, but as you're going to see, unless it's a Shadow over Shadow, I don't one-shot. So it's a bit short, and that kind of leaves me in a weird situation where it's like Mudshot's resisted because of the Flyer. They Night Slash. I may have to try and catch here. They catch under Defense Deoxys, okay? So I may have to try and catch back, or what's the play here? I tried to catch back. I guess, as you saw, they didn't throw. They waited because they knew it. Dig. Doesn't even take me out. And they just get the actual farm down with Pelipper. Okay. Lickitung Lead here. Again, I would not be surprised if I go straight Hurricane. The problem against these like tanks of Pokemon, you can live 1 Body Slam for sure. But unless you land like... If I land a Hurricane, I could probably get to another Weather Ball. If they shield this, I'm probably not in an amazing spot. I'm wondering if... I think I can get to another Hurricane. The question is it worth it? And I don't think it's worth it. So I might as well just take shield advantage because we saw that these Wing Attacks do actually do some damage here. Again, Body Slam doesn't do a ton, but I don't want to risk it not knowing what's in the back yet. So get to the Dig. Hopefully 50% on a Lickitung. Not even close. I think we're just going to commit to the farm down anyways. I can live a Body Slam. Okay, that doesn't do a ton. Out comes a... Looks like a... What's that? Carbink. And at that point, I am now up a shield and have alignment here. I don't know if an Earthquake takes out after the nerf, but I know 2 Hydro Cannons will. So I just do that. Plus I know I can just shield this. I don't even need to shield this. Plus I know I can get 2 Hydros off here, like get to 2 Hydros. So I have some energy coming out. This is where Swampert's just like deadly. There's 1 Hydro. Out comes a Medi. I'm going to go back to back here with the Hydros to chip. Oh, and they caught and they catch. Okay, here comes another Hydro. Good catch on the Lickitung. Unfortunately, there is a 3rd Hydro for them, and now they are not going to counter me down before I Wing Attack and Air Lace down. So Swampert, again, in those matchups there, can still do a ton of damage. Dugong. maybe this is when I started to switch this team. There were a couple Pokemon like as not a Azumarill a ton there, but and I land the Hurricane. There's a couple. I think it was Lantern, Dugong, Mantine. I would have to land. Mantine's now. No, Mantine with Ice Beam would be a problem. So between all those sort of like water Pokemon, I then decided to put in Sableye just because Pelipper doesn't have an amazing matchup against most waters because you need to land the Hurricane, so it's very bait dependent. If they shield the Hurricane, you're in trouble. So I think that's why I switched to Sableye in the back here. The problem with this matchup, again, two Hydros from a Shadow Swampert takes out. Doesn't take out from a non-Shadow. But I'm just going to... I can't take it out with 3. They actually just go straight Power Whip, which is expected, right? That'll one-shot. But I'm going to have to get off a third one here. I'll get off a third one before they get to their move. Probably force a shield here. And then we'll have to figure out what I want to do. Or they can let it go. Defense Deoxys comes in. So I'm just going to chip like crazy here. And because most are running a Rock Slide Thunderbolt, I'm pretty much resisted on any of these. Anyways, what I am going to do is probably get out here. Yeah. And now they, again, at best they have Rock Slide or Thunderbolt, which is not a real issue here. Gligar Lead is good because I got to imagine super effective Weather Balls and outpacing is going to do way better than Aerial Ace. Again, Shadow Gligar and a Weather Ball does not take out, yet they still do almost the same amount on my Pelipper, right? So that's why Gligar is like super good in this meta. Just go straight nuke there. Unfortunately, does not take out because I chipped a bunch with, not a bunch, I chipped a little bit with Wing Attack. I think it's probably now within 2 Hydro and Mud Shot range. Will have to shield up here. Obviously, a Power Up would take me out. But oh yeah, but most, no, I was going to say most definitely, but I'm pretty sure that's the case here. Oh, of course, it's not the case. Not the case here. Unfortunately, you need a lot more chip than that. And there it is. There is your Water Gun Lantern, which makes this really, really tough. I'm going to have to try and catch on like a Pelipper. Yeah, I tried to catch on the Pelipper. They just farm me down. They're going to have 2 Surfs. And I think this is probably when I switch the team. Just between all the different water Pokemon, it just is a little tough because Swampert obviously takes neutral to waters and you have to land an Earthquake and not if they're a flyer. And then Gligar takes super effects from water. Pelipper can't throw the Weather Balls against waters. And if it's like an electric water, you just... I think there's too many... Again, if you don't see these Pokemon, it's a pretty good team. But in the off chance that you do see these Pokemon, it's a tough team. So I put in Sableye for a couple battles here. For those of you who've been around on this channel for a long time now, the Sableye Swampert core is something that I've run for seasons in Great League, and I love it. Again, Lickitung is probably your toughest answer because Power Whip will take out Swampert, and obviously the claws are resistant on that. But outside of that, like I mean, obviously grass. It's not, they're not just like pure counters. Like obviously Swampert's super weak to grass, but Sableye in itself can deal with a lot of the grasses, quite honestly. Where it actually got tricky was like some flyers like Altaria, dragons in particular were just tricky because Swampert's just Hydro Cannons are resisted, right? But outside of that, Sableye is still just so well-rounded. So grab the second shield. I'm going to shield because I know I'm going to be able to take this out, and we'll see what they have in the back. They have a gold bat. I'm going to chip because one Hydro will not take out. So I might as well chip so now I can take out with the Hydro. I'm going to try and bank a move. Nope. Force them to throw. That makes sense too. Force them to throw because now they need to throw Shadow Ball to take me out. And I'm going to outpace before they get there. That's just a Poison Fang. That was way too fast for a Shadow Ball. Which then just means that I can farm up to 2 Hydro Cannons before they take me out. So there's one. I'll go pretty much back to back immediately here. I have to think of one more Mud Shot away. So goodbye, Sandslash. So even though Mud Boys are in huge trouble right now, Swampert, just again, Mud Shot, Hydro Cannon. And right here we go. This would have been a very bad matchup on the lead with Pelipper, but these claws are adding up. This foul play will probably either grab a shield or do chip. Yep. And if I do chip, I'm now within, I can win, probably in the zeros. Or will this lowering my attack put me just below? I think it maybe put me just below. I think they'll probably get to a move before because they lower my attack. I mean, I could shield and farm, but there's no point when I'm going to be 2 times lowered. I'm going to just come in and get a head on energy on Swampert. 1-3 Mud Shot advantage is huge unless there's a grass here. And if there's a grass here, here comes Gligar for the grass. Sableye against Gligar, I think is an interesting matchup, but I think that because Air Lace only takes 5 to get to, and because these wing attacks on a Shadow Gligar do a bunch, what I can do here, and if I remember, is just go Air Lace, because even if they don't shield this, I can now just farm down and come out with 2 moves essentially. Right? It's not quite 2 moves. I'm three wing attacks short, but they get out pretty quick with their Venusaur, so they probably need like 4 or 5 fast moves, and I'm just going to outpace here and shadow on shadow action here. Even though it's an Aerial Ace, this will take out. And goodbye, Venusaur. You do not have the bulk of Superior. So that is the team. Again, I think Pelipper is strong. There is a certain element of baiting to it. Like I said, in those bulky matchups against Lickitung, Dugong, Defense Deoxys, you need to land a Hurricane to win those matchups. So the problem with Pelipper is it's very, very classy, very spammy with the Wing Attack Weather Ball. So that's good if you just need those. If you just need like Wing Attack Weather Ball, two Weather Balls to take out combo there, you're in pretty good shape. If you need to land a Hurricane on a bulky Pokemon, that's where this is kind of like a Sims hero. So it's a little worse there. I think Shadow Gligar is just super strong. And Swampert still strong, even though the meta is kind of against it right now. So that is it. So this is going up on, I'm filming this a week and a couple days before this goes up, because I'll be away for Thanksgiving this weekend. But because Great League and Ultra League are actually on the previous weeks, and Great League Ultra League are on this week, I'm able to get ahead on videos, which is nice. So these are videos, these are teams that I used in Great League, a couple Great League teams in the past, like 2 weeks ago, and then Ultra League will be the one that I used this past week, like a few days ago before I left. So stay tuned for those, and then I will be back with other Great League and Ultra League teams on Tuesday, but those will actually be new teams as I'll be back at my house to do videos. So that's it. Thanks for watching. If you celebrate Thanksgiving this weekend, happy Thanksgiving. And I'll see you guys in the next one.